Croissant baking has always been a refuge for me, a quiet space where the only expectations are the ones I set for myself. There's a unique solace in the rhythmic kneading of dough, the patient waiting for it to rise, and the transformative heat of the oven. It's a process grounded in precision yet open to creative interpretation, a delicate dance between science and art. For a long time, this personal sanctuary was enough. The joy was in the making, the sharing, and the simple pleasure of a well-baked loaf or a perfectly flaky pastry. The external world, with its relentless pace and competitive nature, seemed to fade away when my hands were dusted with flour. It was a world I created for myself, governed by the gentle laws of yeast and temperature, not by leaderboards or public opinion. This tranquil relationship with baking, however, began to shift with the rise of social media and the burgeoning popularity of competitive baking shows. Suddenly, what was once a private passion felt like it was being thrust onto a public stage. Every perfectly laminated croissant, every intricately decorated cake, and every flawlessly rustic sourdough loaf paraded across my screen, accompanied by a chorus of likes, shares, and glowing comments. These were not just baked goods. They were trophies, symbols of skill and dedication that seemed to demand validation. The quiet satisfaction I once found in my own kitchen started to feel insufficient. The internal monologue began to change from "this tastes wonderful" to "is this good enough to post?" The pressure was subtle at first, a gentle nudge to improve, to try new techniques, to aim for that picture-perfect result. I found myself poring over complex recipes, investing in specialized equipment, and spending hours trying to replicate the flawless creations I saw online. The kitchen, once a place of relaxation, slowly transformed into a laboratory for perfection. Each bake became a high-stakes experiment, and every minor imperfection, a slightly uneven crumb, a crust that wasn't quite dark enough, a lamination that wasn't perfectly distinct, felt like a personal failure. The joy of the process was being overshadowed by the anxiety of the outcome. I was no longer baking for myself. I was baking for an imaginary audience, a panel of unseen judges who held the power to deem my efforts worthy or not. The turning point came one weekend when I decided to tackle a particularly demanding recipe for quignon, a Breton pastry known for its intricate layers of butter and sugar. The process was laborious, requiring multiple turns and rests, precise temperature control, and a delicate touch. I followed the instructions to the letter, my focus absolute, my kitchen a sterile operating theater. Hours later, when I pulled the pastries from the oven, they looked okay. They were golden, and the sugar had caramelized, but they lacked the uniform, professional finish I had seen in countless tutorials. One had leaked a bit of butter, another was slightly misshapen. Instead of feeling a sense of accomplishment for having tackled such a challenging bake, I was consumed by a wave of disappointment and frustration. In that moment, standing in my flour-dusted kitchen, I had a revelation. I wasn't enjoying this. The stress, the pressure, the relentless pursuit of an unattainable ideal had stripped all the pleasure from my hobby. I was so fixated on the competition, on measuring up to an external standard, that I had lost sight of why I started baking in the first place. It was never about being the best. It was about the simple, grounding act of creating something with my own hands. It was about the warmth of the oven on a cold day, the comforting aroma filling the house, and the quiet joy of sharing a homemade treat with someone I care about. I had allowed the performative nature of modern food culture to infiltrate my sanctuary and turn it into a source of anxiety. That day, I made a conscious decision to reclaim my love for baking. I took a step back from the world of competitive high-pressure baking. I unfollowed accounts that made me feel inadequate and stopped watching shows that turned a creative outlet into a cutthroat sport. I put away the complex recipes and the specialized tools and returned to the basics. I baked a simple loaf of bread, not for a photo, not to impress anyone, but for the sheer pleasure of it. I focused on the feel of the dough in my hands, the way it transformed from a shaggy mass into a smooth, elastic ball. I watched it rise, a slow and magical process that has fascinated bakers for centuries. I didn't worry about the perfect score or the open crumb. I simply reveled in the process. When the bread came out of the oven, its crust was a deep, rustic brown, and the sound it made as it cooled was a symphony of crackles. It wasn't perfect by any professional standard, but it was mine. Slicing into it and seeing the steamy, soft interior, I felt a profound sense of peace and satisfaction that I hadn't experienced in a long time. It was a taste of freedom, a reminder that the true value of a hobby lies not in external validation but in the personal joy and fulfillment it brings. It's about creating a space where you are free to experiment, to make mistakes, and to celebrate the imperfect, a space where the only judge is yourself. This journey back to a more mindful and personal approach to baking has been incredibly liberating. I've rediscovered the joy in the small things, the satisfaction of a simple butter cake, the rustic charm of a galette with uneven edges, the comforting warmth of a freshly baked cookie. I still challenge myself with new recipes and techniques, but my motivation has changed. I do it out of curiosity and a desire to learn, not out of a need to prove my worth. I've learned to embrace the imperfections, to see them not as failures but as unique characteristics that tell the story of a handmade creation. A slightly burnt edge, a lopsided muffin, these are the marks of a home baker, a human being, not a machine. By consciously choosing to bake without pressure or competition, I've not only rekindled my passion but also found a deeper, more meaningful connection to the craft. It has become a form of meditation, a way to connect with my senses and be present in the moment. The kitchen is, once again, my sanctuary, a place of peace and creativity where the only goal is to enjoy the process and create something delicious. It's a powerful reminder that in a world that constantly asks us to perform and compete, it is essential to carve out spaces for ourselves where we can simply be, where we can create for the pure joy of it, free from the weight of expectation. Baking, for me, is no longer a race to an invisible finish line. It is a slow, meandering walk, savoring every step along the way.